Yo, 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 what's going on? What's good in the hood? This JP. What's up? We got some things to talk about today. Man, there's a lot going on. It's crazy. We got the all this with the Epstein files. Everybody want to release the Epstein files now after half America saying that it was a hoax and the other half saying that it only included Trump. But the fact is, voters from both sides are sick and tired of their creepy elite donors of their politicians still out of jail free. Everybody just wants the bad guys to go to jail. I don't know what's so hard about that. What's the problem with that? That the bad guys should go to jail. I just don't get it. Like the other side's always pointing at the other side. And Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, uh, Larry Summers. Democrats don't like these elites. I don't. Republicans like them, Donald Trump, but I don't even think Donald Trump's in the files like that. We ain't got no evidence saying that. You know what I mean? So I think that's a part that's gonna be a little bit hard for some of these TDS people to get over. You know. So with the Epstein files, we have a few things going on right now. Um, we got the discharge petition, which apparently trying to get 218 isn't even a problem anymore. They may even have most of the House and all of the House and all of the Senate vote for it after it being almost impossible to they closed the House for almost 2 months just to stop it from getting signed. So there's this blockade that seems to be broken open, and everybody's willing to just let's go. Let's release the files. Everybody's willing to release it. Even Trump. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, he was calling Laura Burbert and Bobert and Nancy Mace. He put Lauren Bourbon in the Situation Room to try to talk her out of signing a discharge petition. Blowing up Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace is a prior victim, so she definitely wasn't going to flip. So I don't even think she answered his calls. But 2 days ago, he was just practically begging Lauren Bobert to not sign the petition. He threw Massey to the wolves over this petition. He's throwing MTG to the wolves over this petition. And lo and behold, last night, or whenever it came to it, he said that, God damn it, he's going to investigate these Epstein files. I think this was Saturday. He's going to investigate these Epstein files. And not only that, he wants the Republicans to vote to release it. So the problem with this is that if he's investigating the Epstein files, the DOJ is investigating the Epstein files, because once he called for it, Pam Bondi came in and said, we're going to open up an investigation into Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, and Larry Summers. And the DOJ is now investigating the Epstein files, even though in July, the Epstein files were not being. In July, they said there was nothing in the files, just a bunch of kiddie PDF stuff for PDFs. So almost made it seem that like people who wanted to see what's in the Epstein files were creeps. I mean, that's what I got from it. It's like she almost made it seem like y'all don't want to see what's in this, because if you do, you're a creep. Because what you're gonna see is some nasty stuff that you, if you want to see that, you're a creep, right? And that didn't work, because Ro Khanna, there was a few these Democrats that just kept on putting their foot on the gas, and Thomas Massey was with them too, just continually they knew that our government has been compromised either by some PDF ring or some foreign government using the PDF ring as blackmail. Either way, this PDF ring was being used as blackmail to control our politicians, whether that be a foreign government or just be the corporations running our government, the donors. You know what I mean? All evidence say that this was being kept a secret because the donors were on the list. So the donors were implicated. So the donors weren't running it. The elites weren't running it. They're all implicated. Prince Andrew, implicated. It's a lot going on. The ex-prime minister of Israel, implicated. In Britain, they're firing people right now who was emailing this guy. They're firing people who was in the Epstein files. They're getting rid of people who was in the Epstein files. For some reason, our government, we're protecting the people in the Epstein files. And unfortunately, the only people we know who were involved in any of this criminal activity were the victims. So how do we know the victims of these, most victims, not all of them? We know a lot of them. I'm not going to say most, I don't know. We know a lot of them. And how can we know a lot of victims and not know one suspect other than Jeffrey Epstein? We got a lot of names, just a lot of random names, but there's nobody we can make a suspect. There's not enough evidence according to them. So, yeah, that's a problem for me. That's a big problem. And this investigation now, even if the House passes their discharge resolution, veto proof, even if the Senate passes their veto proof, release the files bill, and the president signs it and doesn't veto it because now, he wants a release now. They're still not going to release the files because the DOJ is investigating Clinton, Larry Summers, and Reid Hoffman. So they're not going to release the files. They're never going to release the files. Even if they do release the files, people are already saying, they've probably been cleaned and scrubbed. But I think the other side of that is there's this Epstein estate. So they can essentially clean and scrub all of their evidence, but the communications and a lot of that stuff it would be different in the Epstein estate, sorry. So for one example, Maxwell, when she was being interviewed by Blanche, the deputy district attorney, right? They had a recording and he had asked her about if he knew of any time where if she knew of Trump being at Epstein's house. And the recording, she said no, she hasn't seen Trump, which it was a little different because she said she hadn't seen Trump in Epstein's house, right? But then some leaked emails came out, months later, because she got moved over to a minimum security prison. She has a puppy. She's got, she has a laptop. She's able to communicate. I'm not sure if she's on social media active or not. Maybe she has a bot account. Who knows? But she definitely has a puppy in jail. She has a puppy in jail, and she's a child predator. That's kind of crazy. But let's stay on track. So Tom Blanche interviewed her, and she said nope, she's never seen Trump at Epstein's house. But then this leak of emails come out where it's a communication between her and Epstein is saying, they're talking about Trump, and Epstein's like, the dog he was at my house for hours with so and so, and she knows it, or something about Epstein was telling Maxwell that Trump was at his house with Virginia, and this was prior to the interview, so she does have knowledge of Trump being at Epstein's house, and a lot of people saw that as some sort of a discrepancy. Tom Blanche he explained it as he didn't have those emails. So the only logical conclusion is those emails were already cleaned out and put to the side, put in the trash and destroyed. Those emails were already scrubbed out of the files that he had available. He couldn't even see. He didn't say like, "Oh, I never seen it." Like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I remember that email. I don't know why I didn't think about it." Like, he said he never seen the email. It was already scrubbed out the files. So luckily we have the Epstein estate. Hopefully, you know, we can trust the Epstein estate. I hate to say it like that. I don't know who's running it, but at least they have a trove of documents, a copy of the communications, all that. And we can look at that. We got some other things going on which has to do with the Charlie Kirk assassination and the Trump attempted assassination. See, there's been a crazy coincidence. See, this is two things that, see, they didn't tell us this when the Trump attempted assassination guy got shot and killed. They didn't tell us that he was a MAGA dude, right? Like he has tweets, he has posts, he's pro MAGA, he's talking about X the Democrats, X the squad out, you know what I mean? Take him out, I'll do it. He's running his mouth. He's on all the posts. Impossible for the FBI or any type of surveillance network, which was going on around the time. This was around 2019, 2020. Wouldn't catch this guy the way he was going off on the internet, like threatening the lives of people. Like the commenter, everybody knew him, so he had to been reported, right? So all this, apparently, allegedly, all this stopped at a certain time around COVID, and Thomas Crooks, I believe his name is. Yeah, Thomas Crooks. Yeah. So he left his radical internet, and allegedly, this is my conspiracy brain right here. This is likely the time when the feds did intervene on him. They did approach him with his online rhetoric, but it didn't play out like you would think it would play. It wasn't like, hey, you're going to go to jail. It was like hey, let's make you a little bit more radical. So, and this is the part that hasn't been explained yet, but I'm sure it will soon. Let's make you more radical. They could have told him, stop posting online, right? There's evidence, and y'all go check it out. Tucker Carlson did it. Tucker Carlson, he did the investigation. There's evidence that FBI agents were going to the same shooting range at the same time Thomas Cook was there, and this is when he was ghost off the line. FBI agents were going to the same shooting range as Thomas Crooks. Thomas Crooks has a foreign accounts. He has a network of just accounts and other names, and it's just way too much for this guy just to be just some random lone wolf, right? This is the lie they told us. They said he had no online presence. They deleted all his accounts, so you couldn't go on and find it. But unfortunately, on our social media accounts, everybody who responded to his comments and he responded to were still there. So they weren't all deleted. So everybody who responded to his comments, and if you responded back, like, those comments were still there. So you could see his virtual footprint, and it was big. It was the opposite of what the Fed said, right? So Tucker did this over the weekend, Friday or whatever, and 2-3 days later, Cash Patel, sure enough, we have 4,000 million files of Thomas Crook, and we're going to release them all, and da-da-da-da-da. I don't even know if he said he was going to release them, but he said he had 50 million Crook messages online, and he had all this stuff that Tucker just exposed 2 days ago, right? He didn't do it 3 months ago. He didn't do it 4 months ago. He didn't do it 6 months ago. Cash Patel didn't do it 9 months ago, but he's doing it 2 days after Tucker exposes all this. Right? And now the New York Post is doing a story on it. They got all the information now. New York Post is, now they're exposing it. Not even, you know what I mean? Not even putting Tucker in the headline. So I thought that was kind of funny. And the connection that I want to make with Tyler Robinson and Thomas Cook is this and I don't necessarily think I don't think Tyler Robinson was the shooter, even though he's the only suspect in Charlie Kirk murder. I don't think he necessarily was the shooter, but he does have a very, very convenient similarity to Thomas Crooks. Both of them were raised, and I don't want you to think too much about this first part. This is just, I just want to address this the way it is. They're both raised in, like, Make America Great families, like MAGA families. They're raised in MAGA families, right? They both were radicalized into this furry, transgender, furry ideology. So it wasn't no Democratic, there was no dip into the Democrats, then they became trans, right? It was both of them were, Thomas Crooks was a radical Republican. He had no affiliation or no Democratic beliefs. He disappeared online, so no one's seen any. If he had these beliefs, no one could witness it because he never posted about them. But for some reason, Tyler Robinson and Thomas Crooks both end up in this trans furry ideology where it's some sort of like furry animals with female faces and muscular male bodies. It's like some weirdo stuff, right? And it's almost like once they get these kids in this weirdo room, then they start the blackmail. Like, hey, you want us to tell your parents you're into these like transgender giant male female like animal anime whatever? I don't like, or do you want us to tell your parents? You know what I mean? It's almost like once, like that's where they get them. Once the it's not the ideology, right? It's the temptation. Whenever they get them to click on that link and go in that room, then they become, and they're in the chat room with a bunch of people who do the same thing and da. And next thing you know, blackmail comes. Hey, bro, the Fed agent slide in there. Hey, bro, da, clickety clack. Shared all these links, blah blah blah. Go tell your parents, gonna ruin your life. And I don't know if that's the case, but it seems like the common denominator is this trans furry ideology. It's something I've never heard of before Charlie Kirk's murder. Like, I've never heard of it, but unfortunately, it's a thing, and they're killing people, or trying to kill people, and killing people. So to me, it's not just a thing now. Now it seems like somebody's radicalizing these people, especially in the case of Charlie Kirk, where it clearly seems like he didn't kill it. He was set up. He set the gun there. He had a lot of people helping him. There were people planning his murder months and months in advance, and he was just the guy to take the fall. Where Thomas Crook, I don't know if there's questions that there was another shooter. The fact that he was training with FBI, allegedly, possibly could have been training with FBI agents prior to. Maybe he did develop the skills to take a shot to just barely take off the president's ear. Because you think that they're just going to leave with a piece of a president's ear if they were trying to take his head off? Do you think that they're just going to let that slide? Oh, then they had the other guy trying to take him out. So the thing about Thomas Cook is when he went offline, then he pops up in a BlackRock commercial. So you already know he's deep state. And that's the problem. That these kids, they get radicalized by the feds. The feds brainwash them into being furries. Then the feds blackmail them because they're furries. Then the feds tell them, hey, we'll forget about you and your furries if you just go do this, this, and that. And we know you like that because we picked you for a reason. I mean, that's the reality of it. And I don't know if the world is ready for the truth. Because that would make our federal government actually, or maybe it's another foreign government. I don't know. But it would definitely make us very, very compromised. If it was our federal government, then yeah, we got big, big problems. And if it's a foreign government, our federal government is supposed to be watching our back and didn't catch this, then we still have a big, big problem, because it could be every government can get away with this if one government can get away with it. Moving on. So this is the last topic of the day, and it's kind of back to Epstein in a way, because why? I'm not sure if y'all seen the clip. Let me see if I can find it. The clip of the Virginia representative. She's in a hearing and she's questioning Cohen or Trump's old buddy, Michael Cohen, and she's getting live texts from Epstein while she's doing it. And this is a Democrat. And this is why people don't really believe either side anymore. Because this was a Democrat that did this. And everybody's, well, now the Democrats are all guilty, because it's like if one person on one side is guilty, then only the Democrats are guilty. And if the one person on the Republican sides are guilty, then only the Republicans are guilty. So no one can ever win this fight, because both sides are guilty. Both sides are guilty as hell. And y'all act like both sides like have this like, just because one side's guilty, the other side is innocent. I'm confused. Let me try to find this real quick. I apologize. I don't, how Twitter is. Hopefully nothing pops up. That's crazy. Let's go. Where's the video at? Either way, so Epstein, it starts off, Epstein's tweeting her. Epstein's messaging her hey, are you chewing? What's wrong with you? Are you really chewing right now? I'm watching you. It's on TV right now. You're my representative. Are you fucking chewing right now? Then Stacey Plackett responds, nah, not no more. Nah, I was chewing. Not anymore. Not chewing anymore. Right? So fast forward, and it's Epstein's hey, bro just brought up Rona. He just brought up Rona. We gotta talk about Rona. That's the keeper of the secrets. She's like, who Rona? Come on, fill me in. I don't know who Rona is. She's texting right now in the hearing. She's texting him. Who's Rona? Real quick, I'm up next. Hurry up, Epstein. I'm up next. I don't know who Rona is. Is it the acronym? Is it a person? What is it? Man, this is assistant. Damn, can you Google something? This is her assistant. Damn it. You know what I mean? So, whew. Okay, whew. Hey, what about Rona? Do you know about Rona? Can she give us some information? So it all just worked out the way Epstein. It's just kind of these rich and powerful people. It's probably not just Epstein, but they're texting our lawmakers while they're in the hearings. Push them harder, make them sweat, ask them about this. And this is crazy, because this can't just be a one-off. It just can't be a one-off. And we done. We cooked. America, we're cooked. We cooked if this is happening. That's all I got to say. We are cooked if Epstein is a foreign agent working for a foreign country And he's texting our representatives what to say in a hearing. We're cooked. It's over. We're cooked. America, God bless President Donald Biden for his services. This is the last year America will be America. We are cooked unless something changes. I don't know. This is crazy. I mean, it's all coming to light. They promised transparency. We seeing it now. This is a lot of transparency. And it's not looking good for us. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow. It's the Good in the Hood JP.